Hello, hello, and we are live. Hello to YouTube, hello to Facebook. I hope you can hear me. Doing all the regular checks. If you're on YouTube, if you'd like to deploy the like on entry and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, the YouTube channel is way behind the Facebook channel, but I'd like to grow it. So if you'd like to press subscribe, it'll let you know when the next videos are coming up. And that would be absolutely super. Thank you very much, and press the likes. If you're on Facebook, of course, like and share. We all know this. Lovely. Thank you very much for coming. If you can hear me, then just stick a little hello in the comments. That'd be absolutely super. That everything's cool. Hello, Maggie. Thank you very much for turning up. Yes, so for this live, I'm going to start off by displaying the video, the 40-second video that I'm sure you've all seen already. We had a great fun doing that yesterday. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Angela, Caroline, Helen. Hello. Lovely. So let's just have a look at this video. It's all about building a relationship with a horse. 40 seconds long. I had such a good time making it. Let's just bob that in there. I'm still laughing. It was so much fun making that. Absolutely super. It's funny getting Zana to lean back more and more. So actually, this little background behind me, we were just on that horizon there. And if you get really low down with your camera, you can just get it that there's nothing but sky. So that's how we did that. It's a very funny message with a very relevant and genuine message behind it. Hello. Thank you very much for joining us all. Hi, David. Thank you for joining. Rachel, Jacinta, thank you very much for coming. There we are. Sandra, I've seen your pictures of Badger. He looks right up my street. He really does. He's a super looking horse. Yeah. Absolutely stunning. I love it. Okay, lovely. So the message is that you can't expect your horse to listen to you when it matters if it's not in the habit of listening to you at all. Gosh, this is a deep subject. You could just go into so many different aspects of it. I'll try and keep it. Let me just write down what I just thought then. Okay. I might save that for another time. So this video came about because people at the Rider Confidence course say, are you going to cover bolting? Now, we do cover bolting. In fact, there's a YouTube video somewhere of me discussing the bolting publication that I've made. So there's a free publication which you can get addressing the three main issues of horse riders: bolting, bucking, and rearing. And it's all written down on a lovely little pamphlet that's absolutely free. Go below any of the videos that I put on my page or on my YouTube, and you'll see for your free download of bolting, bucking, and rearing, click here. You give your email and you get sent a bolting, bucking, and rearing download. If it doesn't come through, you can always just write to me and I'll just return the email with the download attached, but it should be all automatic. So the practicalities of bolting are relatively easy to deal with. the most difficult aspect is don't let the only time that you've ever galloped be when your horse is bolting, because you're not going to be particularly confident about that. Can you all hear me okay? I hope you can. So you will need to learn to gallop. If you're on a horse well, you should know how to gallop anyway, really. It's not as beyond your abilities as you might think. If you're like, oh no, I'm quite happy at walk and trot, I do understand what you're saying, but we do need, I'm quite happy at walk and trot. I don't need to gallop anywhere, but I know how to gallop somewhere. And if film comes along and they say, gallop up this hill, gallop down this hill, then it's all jolly easy. I'd say that was the hardest bit of bolting, really, is to find a trustworthy horse on a trustworthy gallops and just get some experience in. And if you've got to work up to that because you're a beginner at horse riding, well, there you are, you have to work up to it. Which conveniently brings me on to our Confident to Canter camp, which is now full. Thank you very much for everybody who has applied to be on the course. It's oversubscribed. We're going to have to think of another date, but at the moment, the Confident to Canter camp on May the 20th and 21st, I think, but I might have got that wrong just off the top of my head. Don't panic if I've just said the wrong date, but it's full. We're going to think of another one. Really looking forward. We can do some real good work here. So the Confident to Canter camp is full. We will release another date. But back to the subject. So that's the practicalities of bolting or other misbehaviours, bolting, bucking, rearing. The point of the video that I just showed is that it's when the horse is spooked by A, B, or C and is like, okay, it's time to bolt. Are you getting me here? You're going along. Look. It's nearly the season for sheep to get stuck on their backs. And that's always a good one when you come around a corner and there's a sheep stuck on its back. But it is nearly the season. The wool's growing and their sides are growing with babies inside and they're going to get stuck on their back. And that's always a good one for making the horse turn around and run the other way. So when the horse sees the sheep on his back or whatever it is, the ideal would be for the horse to go, oh my God, what's that? What do we do? And to ask you. You're obviously the one in charge. But if the horse has never had a answer from you before, if when you put the hay net up, it pulls the hay net rips into your fingers, you scream, the horse jumps, everything's chaos, as opposed to, look horse, let's just have a deal here. You're hungry. I know you're hungry. I've got the hay. You're going to wait over there. You're not going to come near me until I've finished tying up this hay. I actually do this. And I don't know if I should confess this, but what I normally do to get horses' attention or to get them to back off is big old clap. Can't do that if I'm doing a hay net. I shouldn't say this. So what I do, I just need to get the horse to be like, oh, I better not go there. I'll go like this. I'm tying it up. I'll go, stay there. Stay. I just make that farting noise, and it just makes it go, ooh. And there you are. That's my little secret trick. Not a particularly good trick, but it does the job. The point is, do something. You don't just want to get caught into this big fight over the hay net. And the point is, I'm taking charge. The point is, I'm taking charge. And I take charge of washing the feet. You know the way the horse like to dance when they wash their feet, when you wash their feet? Well, you can dance if you want to, but I'm not going to stop. And you're not going to squash me against the wall. You're not going to move away from the hose. You have to stay where I've put you. You have to. And in that way, I'm taking charge of the situation every day, twice a day. And same with the hay net. And the other example we had was the horse being led down. But the point is, in everything, if the relationship is, let me get you out of trouble for everything, let me get you out of trouble, then the horse understands to, the word's not submit, what's defer, that's the word, to defer to my good judgment, because I've got it out of so many situations before. The relationship is defer to my good judgment. Now, I know I've spoken about Mr. Clayton, my geography teacher, a few times. When we were kids, Mr. Clayton was quite sharp. He was quite a sharp teacher. I just thought of something else. Let me write that down. But when Mr. Clayton told the class to sit down, we all sat down. And when Mr. Clayton told you that you've done a good job, you've done a good job. And if we were to go out and something happened, the horsey equivalent of a sheep being on its back, something went bang, something fell over, we'd all look at Mr. Clayton and he'd say, whatever it is, whatever the drill was. When the fire alarm went off, we'd all look at Mr. Clayton and he'd say whether we were staying in, going out that door, going out the fire exit, or whatever. You need to build the relationship. Well, I had the relationship with Mr. Clayton, and I want my geography teacher, and I want the horse to have the relationship to me that everything we've done, how we are going through a gate. So I'm leading the horse, you know, you're leading the horse out to the paddock, and you open the gate, and it's hungry, or it just wants to go and see its mates or whatever, and it could well barge past you, and they do. And sometimes my horses as well, they forget their manners, they get a bit keen for themselves, or more often we've had some new grooms and they've let them get away with stuff. And then I'm leading the horse out and it's like, this horse just practically flattened me going through this gate. And then I'll have to do some training. So the training would come that I'd probably put it in a bridle so that we're not fighting. And I'd lead it to the gate and make it stand, a little shake of the reins. You stand there, get it in its eye. You bugger, you stand there. Stand there. Open the gate, wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and walk on nicely. I promise, 3 days, and you'll have that down pat, and that horse will be fixed. It will be fixed. It will not go through the gate. So in every aspect, the relationship is, I'm in charge. I'll do what's right. I'll put you right. There won't be any fighting. There won't be any screaming in the stable because my fingers are caught in the net. There won't be any flattening me and having me run around going, you bagger, when you go through the gate. I'll be in charge of everything. You can trust me. And that's a lovely feeling. It's a lovely feeling. So when we come around the corner and we see the sheep on its back and the horse goes, oh crumbs, what's that? It's like, you can trust me, this is what we're going to do. And obviously I know it's just a sheep on its back. I'm going to tell the horse to either walk on or, depending on which horse I'm in, stand still, and I'll dismount and I'll walk over and we'll pull the sheep onto its feet and it'll run away, and I'll mount up again and I'll be on my way. It's actually all about bolting, rearing, bucking, all those behaviors where the horse feels that it's not going to listen to you, because it never has. Which is terrible for a horse, because then that means it has to look after itself, which is the last thing that they want to do. So build that the reason why I have my horses a little bit like that when we come onto the yard. When you have your feet washed, you are going to be perpendicular to the wall, face the wall. When I pick your feet out, face the wall. Oh, it really annoys me. I was going to say nothing annoys me more, but that's not true. Not if you watch the news. There's lots. But what does really annoy me is when I go and get the hoof picking bucket, and the horse was standing perpendicular to the wall, and now it's moved round to the side, and you can't get to 2 of its feet. I straighten it up. I go to that trouble to be, oh, you Lotta, you little rascal, you flipping well straighten up, and straighten up. And once it's straight, I'll pick its feet. That seems quite on my behalf, but it pays off dividends when it actually matters. Listen to Karl, because I've listened to Karl when it doesn't matter to the horse's point of view. What's it matter if I want to look behind me at the other horses and my bum steps round? Well, it matters because I've told you not to move. And it's quite funny, you know, that a lot of people, I'll be quiet in a minute and read the comments. I get on one and then I don't read the comments, but I must read the comments more. If you've got any questions, any opinions, I'm going to read your comments in a minute. But I just want to make this last point. A lot of people, understandably, want that special bond with their horse. Now, they might have gone to the Glastonbury hippie shop and seen the picture of the elf leading a unicorn with no tack on, and that's the kind of bond that they want. And ironically, trying to get that friendship, partnership bond means that some people are less inclined to be, no, you do exactly as I say when I go to wash out your feet, pick it out your feet, put up the hay net, encounter the sheep on its back. And they're less inclined to put that routine in. The routine of listening to me, not the discipline of listening to me. This is quite important. The discipline is for me. Can I be bothered to straighten the horse up when I've gone off to get the hoof picking bucket and I've come back and the horse has taken it, look behind it, oh, see what those other horses are doing, and its bum stepped over and now it's standing parallel to the wall and there's no room for me to get the left hand side feet. Can I be bothered to push it over, or will I just reach under the horse and pick its feet out from the other side, or just squidge my way in between the horse and the wall and pick the feet out? Can I be bothered? The discipline is for me. I must be bothered. I must be bothered. The discipline is for me so that I can, in all fairness, give the routine to the horse, and the routine is to do what Karl says. And some people who want that special elf and unicorn bond with their horse aren't keen to be quite so military as I am about it, and so pedantic as I am about it. But ultimately, when the horse has learnt to keep me in charge, and then we go out and have some adventures, the dog runs out, the car goes too fast, the sheep's on its back, and I then start saving the horse over and over again. And we have some adventures that I've slyly gone and set up. Before we went in the arena, I set up this distraction. Or I knew that the gardener was coming and do the strimming, and I deliberately saved my training session for when the gardener comes, so that we've got something to not to take any notice of. So the gardener's there and I'm just doing my figure eights and I'm just doing my serpentines and absolutely ignoring the gardener. And if you tell me that oi, Karl, there's a combine harvester on fire in the field, first thing I'll do is go and tack up my horse and go and see the combine harvester on fire in the field. Because all these little adventures make the bond where the horse trusts me. And when I know the horse trusts me and it's not going to run off and bolt and rear and everything else, then I trust the horse. And we have these lovely conversations. I go, you can do anything on this horse. He's absolutely brilliant. And I'm meaning that this horse, actually, Castizo, you can do anything apart from walk slowly. You can't walk slowly. He's got big batteries. And then I'll put out some video of, in fact, we did put out a video. Zana was on Jupiter going through the woods, dressed in a flowery dress with no saddle, no bridle, and the horse could do it very easily because we've had so many adventures. But make no mistake, it was within those parameters. You set things up. When you make these fantasy dream sequences, you set stuff up. You're not actually riding the horse all over the countryside every day with no saddle and no bridle. It's a fantasy, and you set it up. And within that fantasy, we're in the woods. We've made sure that the exits are blocked off and all that sort of thing. If he goes this way, he's going to do this. If he goes that way, we've covered all the exits. We've made this video. It is the Bond that you want, but within reality. And then we make these videos and people are suitably impressed because it's absolutely wonderful. But that lovely elf and a unicorn Bond could not have happened if the horse didn't have the routine of listening to me when we're on duty. You can mess around when you're in the field with your mates. You can mess around. While you're with me, you're like that, and the horse is like that, which means I trust the horse, or Zana trusts the horse. It's like that horse isn't going to do anything. And then we can make the videos and the fantasy scenarios that are a joy. It is that bond that you want of total trust with your horse. So it's worth building that relationship. And that's what this video was all about. I'm going to play it again, just for those people who are late coming, and because I just laugh every time. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Where am I? There you go. I'm enjoying that far too much. I've been watching it on repeat. But yes, there we go. Let's have a little look at your comments. Now, Nat, who knows a thing or two herself, Warwickshire tells a good story. Can't remember it exactly, but it goes something like, a client brought me a horse, problem was bucking, and I said, it isn't bucking. The problem is he doesn't stand still when you pick his feet out, or stay back when you go to the hay net or something simply. And the client looked at me dumbfounded. The dumbfounded look, we get that with every rider confidence when they say, what about bolting? And Zana starts off saying, bolting is related to how you tie up the hay net. And yeah, we get that dumbfounded look. Yeah. Marvellous. Maggie says, my 2-year-olds lead beautifully, stand for foot washing, stand for rugging, stand for farrier, I muck them out, etc., etc. I am setting them up for the win-win in the future. They're never too young to learn basic stuff. And while you're talking about that, and you've reminded me, Maggie, the basic stuff, we're doing our scales. If you play any instrument, you know that you go back to your scales over and over again. And it's so I had a thing this morning about this video, actually. I told you I've been watching it on repeat, and I've been watching it on repeat. It's so funny. And Jordan was leading 2 of the livery horses out, and we stopped to talk about the video. And the livery horses sort of like, they stood there for a minute, and then they just started to walk forwards towards the field because we'd interrupted their routine, which is, you know, it's not unreasonable for them to suppose that they're walking towards the field. But the point is, we'd stopped and were talking, gossiping, idling, and the horses stepped forward and just sort of barged Jordan a little bit, and she absolutely just cut me dead, cut Zana dead, cut the conversation dead, turned round and said, step back, got them back, and then resumed the conversation with us. That is what discipline is. The discipline is for you. An awful lot of people cannot be bothered to, it's not can't be bothered, but it is can't be bothered. It takes that mental leap that I was relaxing, talking about the video, and now I'm working, paying attention to these horses. And when you're late for work or you're in a rush, it's the same with getting the horse to step back when you walk into the stable. I'm late, I'm rushing. You open the stable, you say step back, it steps forward, and you haven't got the time, or it's not that you can't be bothered, but it is that you can't be bothered. You should bring yourself into the moment, start working, use a bit of energy, you've had your breakfast, get some glucose going in your brain, and it's like, right, let's just stop everything and actually get you to step back. The discipline is for you so that the routine is for the horse. Some people go, that horse needs some discipline. No, the owner needs the owner needs some discipline. Get yourself a nice new whip, and when you can't be bothered to stop your horse walking forward, get someone to hit you with it. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm not really. Lovely. Carrion, thank you for saying the video was funny. It was really good. Oh, this is good. Helen. Let me show you this. I do the same in mine. The amount of time others tell me I'm being mean and unnecessary. And I feel it for myself as well. There is a part of me which goes, you're just being an absolute pedant. You're just being a overly sergeant major. But that's your little voice saying, oh, let me get away with it. Let me just pop it above the comment there. Super. The amount of time others tell you. And getting other, I don't know, because it's here I am. Yeah, others saying it doesn't matter. Oh well, you know, that's their favorite pet, and this, that, and the other. Ultimately, if you promised yourself a season of discipline, you would have assuming you're undisciplined in the first place and you're having problems with your horse, it would be a transformed relationship that you have at the end of that season, and you'd just be delighted. And then you'd pay some young person to come out from the nearby town and ruin it for you when you have to go to work. Turns out they've been letting them lead any old how and letting them plunge through the gates and letting them rip the food from out of their hands and everything. But there you are. I'm moaning about an entirely different situation now. Lovely. I'm just reading these comments. Joe, Kiko stands quietly tacked up, quietly waiting for work. Smashing. Not sure I quite understand this one, Karen, but there we are. So many times I hear my horse is too young and under-muscled to be walking backwards. That's one I've never heard. That's all I'm going to have to say. I've never heard that, so I don't quite know what you're talking about. But the most ridiculous thing I've ever. Well, there we are. That's what people say. Lovely. Thank you for your comments and joining in. This is interesting from Rachel. When Primmy, my horse, was 5, he used to do something scary every day. Sounds much the same as your adventures. Adventure is a positive point. Yeah, I reckon it is, actually. I'm going to agree with you there. Because it's not scary. Potentially your horse could see whatever exercise you're doing as scary. Potentially it could see it as scary. Let's think of something that, well, actually, if you go right back to basics, when you've got a young horse and you're first showing it a saddle or showing it a rug or putting the rug on it or something, that'd be scary. But of course, we know it's not scary. So yeah, I think adventure or challenge is a much more appropriate word, because adventure and challenge have success woven into the meaning of the word. And we know it's not scary. I know a sheep on its back is not scary. So I can't call it scary, because it's not. I'd be lying. There we are. So yeah, I like that. Tina, thank you. Groundwork so important. Oh, I'm going to not agree with this, Sharon. I'll show this. First of all, it's fine for us to disagree. There's so many different ways of going about things. Anything that I recommend is just, it's worked for me. It's not the be all end all. So if ever I do disagree with any of you, that's fine. Hang the hay nets while the horse is out of the stable. Problem altered. You've missed an opportunity. You've missed a training opportunity there. The opportunity I want is that when we are doing a thing, you and I, not you and I, obviously, Sharon, you and I, the horse, look, horse, when horse and I are doing a thing, anything, I'm in charge. And this is the relationship that I want to develop, that I'm in charge. I don't allow it to rip out the hay. I'm ever so empathetic about a hungry horse. The grass is rubbish out there, although it is getting better. And they'll come in and they'll be ready for their hay, and they're just about jumping in their hay net. And even then, it's like, no. In fact, even more so, it's no. I'm not bending the rules now, because when the horse is like really opinionated, I'm going, no, we're sticking to the relationship where I've got the discipline to tell you no, and you've got the routine, no matter how hungry you are, to wait for these 20 seconds. You can wait. Then I've made use of a really good training opportunity. So no, I personally don't avoid a situation because it's a waste of a training opportunity. The combine harvester's on fire. Let's go. There we are. Now we're allowed to disagree. Consistency. Yes. If your consistency is just about everything, I suppose the consistency is built into the word routine, I should think. But being consistent, you've got to be consistent all the time. And then but what we're doing is not being consistent over the situation. We are being consistent over the situation, but we're being consistent over the relationship. When you and I are having an adventure, you do as I say. Whether that adventure is the hay net, you moving back when I come through the gate, that's the consistency. Consistent. And I really try to be consistent, as in I'm aware that at any moment I'm going to have to start burning some glucose in my brain, come out of this lovely relaxing thing because it's going wrong. I need to pay attention to this horse, and that's where I need the discipline to be consistent, so that our poor little horse who's got a brain the size of a broad bean can get the routine, and the routine never changes. For me personally, a problem is doing shows and filming in the summer where you just get one go at it. And to be honest, the horses do start sliding and getting away by the end of the summer, because I haven't always got time to go, right, it's going wrong. I wanted that to be more precise. For example, if I'm leading a horse into an arena to do a show, and for some reason it decides to go ahead of me and pull me through the gate, I haven't got time. I can't go, right, let's sort this out. We're on with the show. So quite often at the end of summer, they all need tuning up again. And that's not unusual. And also I've had a lot of staff as well. I've had a lot of visitors. We've had people flying in from foreign places, people who don't work with the horse. We've had new grooms as well. So lead a horse here, there, and the horse is just coming out of the stable in whatever fashion it likes, because it's a temporary stable up some farm in Wiltshire or something. And that's where they're holding the show. And you can understand that they just all get a little bit loose and wobbly. So this time of year is absolutely tip-top. This is the best time of year. Weather's getting better, ground's getting drier. We can just tune them up, and train, ready for the oncoming spring. Forgotten what got me onto that subject then. Oh, I like that, Julie. We have to have the 51% share. Yeah, that's nice. But it is my way. Yeah, I like that. Very nice way of putting it. What does Nat say? It was funny, me and my boy have that. Exactly, Nat. Let me read this out. It's a bit of a big message to cover the screen with. It was funny. Me and my boy have that elf unicorn relationship, and everyone thinks he's such a cutie, which he is. He was playing with someone new on the ground yesterday, and he reminded me what a testy horse he can be, as he was pushing on her and gently nuzzling, and it was slowly turning into bitey. I know this one. When I helped her out and showed him a bit of clarity and leadership, he instantly blew and started trotting out properly. My friend was like, wow, a bit of leadership and clarity makes him happy. Yes, because they don't want to think for themselves. That's another thing that we've got to remember. You're not being mean to the horse to tell it not to think for itself. Because it might come up with the wrong conclusion and hurt someone. They're big animals and we don't want them thinking for themselves. If I say stop and wait for this old lady with a Zimmer frame and the crochet bobble hat, then I want it to stop and wait for the old lady with the Zimmer frame and the crochet bobble hat. I don't want him thinking for himself. But yeah, they don't want to think for themselves either. It's tiring thinking for yourself. If anybody wants to phone me up at 7 o'clock in the morning and tell me what my daily diary is looking like and exactly what I need to do, then that would be a great weight off my mind. I wouldn't have to think for myself. Wouldn't that be lovely? Horses don't want to be thinking for themselves. They don't want to work it out for themselves. They just want to be told what do I do by someone that they trust. But of course, if they haven't heard you at all, ever, then you need to build that relationship, which was the point of the funny video. That was super little conversation. Thank you, everybody. So we've got a bit of news. The Enjoy Your Horse Club is 1 week old, and we've got 115 members. So that's marvelous. If you'd like to join the club, then it is at www.karlgreenwood.club. My other website, where you buy your hypnosis and your horsemanship videos and all that, is .co.uk. So the club is on karlgreenwood.club, and my shop, where you can buy your books and such like, is .co.uk. So if you get the right one, get to the club. It's a subscription, £5 a month, and the difference is that in the club you will get your questions answered, and we'll be addressing how we do this. I've had a lot. There's a million ways to train a horse. That's fine. There's different disciplines. Everybody's got the best one. But I have genuinely had a lot of success with my horse, a lot of joy with my horse, and a lot of experience speaking to rider confidence people, and we know what we're talking about. And we've had a lot of success through horse behavior and training the horses, as well as training the mindset of the riders. And I will go to the trouble of getting on my horses and making a how-to. We did one this week about fizzy horses. You know, when you get to the gallops, get to the place where you're galloping and your horse starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's all right me sitting here in my studio going, well, you know, you don't always want to be building it into a fight and getting tighter and tighter on the reins, but to actually get to the trouble of getting me camera, getting me horse, getting Zana on her horse, getting out there and taking a hot horse to the gallopy place and actually making the video. And we've done quite a few how-tos. As I led up to making the club, I was aware that I don't get on my horse very often for this page, and it was like I actually could and should. And people were saying these how-to videos are really good, and it's like, right, I need to make a club here where it's really worth doing. So that's the difference. It's a lot of work. It takes all day to make these videos, so that's why it's a subscription. If you want to go, it's £5 a month, paid by PayPal, nice and trustworthy. Go to karlgreenwood.club, join the club. Yeah, it's only a week old and it's already been absolutely super. Really enjoying it. Got some rules as well. If you're equimiserist, you're going to get kicked out. If you're a pity pottyist, you're going to get kicked out. We're not here to discuss how horrible your time is with horses. It's called Enjoy Your Horse Club. We're here to work out how to enjoy it. When you've got a problem, we want looking for a solution. We don't want celebrating a problem. My horse will never do that. No, not having that. If you're just going to go on about your equimisery, you'll get kicked out. It's going to be quite hard to stay in there. But there we are. But that's what I want to do. If you're going to be an equimiserist, go off to the Nervous Rider page and talk about accidents there. There's no place for it. Yes, we got the further in the news. I've just got my little news here that I want to say. We're back at the Household Cavalry at the end of March. That is absolutely wonderful. Do you know what? I was a little bit intimidated when I first went into the Household Cavalry room. There's all these soldiers in their soldier gear, looking hard. It's like, wow. Yeah, but that was an absolute joy, just working with the Household Cavalry, with the new trainees. They've only been riding 5 weeks, and just getting some of those suppositions and some of those beliefs, get them at the core, and we can really speed up the adoption of the professional mindset. So that was absolutely marvelous. The facility, amazing. They've got everything that you could want. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm absolutely delighted to be invited back. Yeah, so I'm very pleased about that indeed. Our rider confidence courses have started here. We had one last Sunday. We've got one tomorrow. So if you're coming to the one-day rider confidence here, then the dates are going up on the website. We advertise the dates a month in advance. Because we've got a busy diary and it changes real quick. So I can't book you in June because I have no idea what my June's going to look like. So I can book you in June, in May. We know what our diary is going to look like. So that's why it's 1 month in advance. So keep going to the website. If you've got plans to come here, keep going to the website. Find a date in the following month that will suit you, and we'll see you. The difference between the one-day rider confidence course and the 3-month ultimate online course is the one-day rider confidence course as a bit of rearing, bit of falling, again, how to, changing that, what if I fall, into if I fall, then I'll do this. If it rears, then I'll do this. If it falls over, then I'll do this. Changing it into if then, because if then's a lot more powerful than what if. The online course is about that changing mindset that you need. We do cover it in the 1-day course a little bit, but with 3 months online with me on the computer like this, being able to take you through your mindset step by step, whatever it is that's been keeping you off your horse, whether it's what other people say and your self-assertiveness isn't up to it, or if it's a lack of knowledge and your horsemanship. We spoke about horsemanship today. It was quite a good conversation. So we've got a horsemanship section. Maybe it's your timekeeping or your productivity. You haven't got time for your horse, you haven't got the money, you haven't got the health, you haven't got the diet right, or it could be something much more practical like that, like the way that your mind works and your self-image, and you've got a bit of imposter syndrome. Whatever it is, look, I've been doing rider confidence coaching for 15 years now. 15 years. I've had hundreds of thousands of conversations why people aren't getting on with their horses. And that's what we address in the 3-month online change of mindset course called the Ultimate Rider Confidence course, all backed up with hypnosis. And that is the difference between the Ultimate Rider Confidence course and the 1-day Rider Confidence course here, where you learn to cope with falling, spinning, falling horses, rears, in one fun day. There you are. Super cool. So yes, rider confidence course is starting again. The February applications to join the online 3-month ultimate rider confidence course is now open, so we can get those going. Get your applications in to join that course. The Canter Camp is full, I've already said that. And that's it. Spring's on its way, as you can see from this picture. Looking forward to summer. That would have been about June last year, I reckon. The peacocks are getting their feathers. Hens have started laying. We're on our way. Lovely. Thanks a lot. I think I've been going for nearly 50 minutes. That's plenty from me. Any comments or questions? Stick them down and we'll get to them. Oh, Rachel, you're coming on the course tomorrow. Marvellous. And Joe. There we are, lovely. I will see you then. Catch you later. Thanks for listening.